everybody, Miss Peachy, your Earth and Space Science teacher here at Wisconsin Connections Academy. Today we're going to go through what you're going to have for the first week of school. So as you can see here under course announcements, this week we have two lessons, lessons 1, motif and course information, and lesson 2 on lab safety. This is a pretty easy week for you because it's pretty much just an introduction to the class and some information on how you can be safe doing some lab investigations at home. So let me kind of go through what you need to do with this. I've opened up the lesson in Connexus. This is just the introduction page. I want to familiarize you with this course outline. So when you hit on the course outline, you can then scroll through the different lessons. So motif and course information is our first lesson. And that is loading, but it's just going to go through kind of like an intro to what we're going to be covering this semester. And as you move on, it starts the first lesson, which looks a little different from that kind of intro page. Just as a matter of historical information and interest here, this is an older course at Wisconsin Connections Academy. It's going to be updated hopefully in the next couple of years. So this looks a little bit older here. It's been imported from kind of one of our older platforms. Obviously, earth science is as old as the earth itself, so the science itself doesn't change too much, but the actual, tech lesson here or the formatting is kind of old as well. The other thing that happens, unfortunately, is that sometimes there are going to be some links in here that aren't working very well. So please make sure you stay tuned really closely to these weekly announcements, because if there's for some reason any links that are not working or there's some stuff that is kind of being glitchy that week, I'll make sure I provide some alternative links here and or some alternative information. So this will always be updated to make sure that you can be successful. So this is just introducing kind of what you're going to be going through this semester. It's really not a ton of information at this point. It is asking you to become familiar with what is in the backpack. So if we go to course tools and you go to backpack, there's nothing listed under materials, glossary, or web links, but there is something under resource packet. So we're going to open the resource packet introduction and foundation because that is our first kind of section here. So I've already done that here. When I did that, this is what opens up. How you can communicate with your teacher. You can call me, you can webmail me. Those are probably the two best ways to communicate with me, okay? You should be able to get answers to your webmail messages within 24 hours during the school week, Monday through Friday. Okay, and don't hesitate to call me as well. Goes through kind of how to organize your space at home. So read through all of this to get yourself some information on how to kind of make sure you're keeping track of all your lessons and all of your work, how to make a schedule for yourself, making sure you know what my schedule is, so you know what my availability is, etc., etc. It's pretty kind of giving you more of an organizational tips. So then we go on to the course materials list. So we do have some hands-on, we call them portfolios, but they're like lab investigations. Unit 2, 3, 4, and 6 in this semester. And these are the materials you will need to have on hand for those lab investigations. So for Unit 2, you'll have a lab called the Crush, the effects of air pressure. You should have an empty aluminum soda can, a shallow pan, a metric ruler, access to a stovetop burner, and some oven mitts. And that's the materials you will need for that particular lab. So you know in advance kind of what you need. For every one of these labs, I will be able to provide you with an alternative where you'll be able to complete the lab digitally as well. But I would highly recommend doing the ones that are hands-on because that's what science is. Science is hands-on. So learning coaches, if you're watching this video, just be aware of the materials list and the stuff that your student should have on hand, because those hands-on investigations are so crucial in really being able to experience science. So that's pretty much it for your first lesson. It then goes through that second lesson here. Again, course outline, go to lab safety. And of course, when you're doing these lab investigations, you need to make sure that you are safe in that process. You're doing them at home, so under supervision is preferred by a parent. Um, it does ask you to go through the lab safety contract, and that lab safety contract is also found in this resource guide. So if you scroll all the way down here, you should see the lab safety contract. You should read through this, keep a copy of it either digitally or a paper copy of it on your person. Make sure your parents read through it as well. And also make sure you really understand these lab safety expectations. These will show up in your quizzes. So you'll have a quiz. Your first quiz will actually have some questions on lab safety. So don't just kind of browse or breeze through this real quickly and don't pay attention to it. Make sure you really understand what the lab safety expectations are. When you do take your quizzes, they are open notes. So if you print a copy of this out or if you save it into a file folder maybe that you've created for Earth Science that says notes, you can save a copy of this in there as well and be able to kind of use that information while taking your quiz. So that's pretty much all you're doing for week 1, everybody. Again, pretty easy, just kind of getting familiar with the class and what the safety expectations are for class. And I will hopefully be updating you for for week 2. So check out for a new video come next Tuesday morning. Don't forget we don't have class on Monday because it is Labor Day. So thank you all very much. Have a fantastic day and we'll talk to you later.